Hey, Geometry, I had a couple of messages about the review, and I just figured I'd go through and do all 20, whatever of them, 27 of them, or something like that. All right, so let's get started. This video will probably be two videos long, hopefully, only two videos long. Let's go. Number one, it says the circumference of the steering wheel of a car is 20 pi inches, and then it says what is the radius. So it says this is the circumference. So what is the radius? Well, we know that the circumference is also 2 pi r. So we can divide this thing by 2 pi to find r, right? And then we find that r is 10. 10 inches. So that's number one. Number two, let's see, find MGH. So find the measure of arc GH. It gives you this kind of circle with a diameter here and a 90-degree angle. And then it gives you this diameter here as well. And then it tells you that this one is 20 degrees. Well, if this one is 20 degrees, this whole thing has to be 90 degrees. So this must be 70 degrees. These are vertical angles. So this must also be 70 degrees. So the measure of GH, the measure of arc GH is going to be equal to 70 degrees. Number three. Number three, points G and H lie on circle T so that TH equals 8 meters. Let's draw a circle T so that GH lie on circle T so that TH is 8 meters. So they're telling you that the radius is 8 meters and the measure of angle GTH is 45 degrees. So GTH, this whole thing is 45 degrees. Find the length of arc GH. Find the length of arc GH. Okay. Well, hold on one second. I'm going to go get some water. All right. Number three, excuse me. Number three is asking you to find arc G, find the length of arc GH here. We know that this measure is 45 degrees. We know that this radius is 8, 45, and we're finding to the nearest hundredth. Great. Well, we know that we need to use the equation L over 2 pi r, which is the circumference. So the length of the arc over the circumference has to be equal to the degree of this measure, 45 over 360. So part over whole is equal to part over whole. I know that their circumference is going to be 2 pi 8 or 16 pi, but we're finding to the nearest hundredth. So 16 times pi is going to give me 50.27. So cross multiply here, and I get 50.27 times 45 is equal to 360L. And that is 2,262.15. Divide both sides by 360. And I will get 6.28. And I think it's in inches, right? No, meters. 6.28 meters. All right, number four. Number four says find X. And it has this little guy with an angle all the way out here. Well, you know that this angle is half of this arc degree. So we would take that angle and multiply by 2 and get that one. Remember, these two, this angle and this arc, are equal to each other. But if it's an inscribed angle, it goes all the way back here. That's half of that. So we need to multiply that by 2, and we get 2 times 72, and that's going to give us 144 degrees, or X already has a degree symbol, so X is equal to 144. 5, man. Find the equation of a circle whose center is blah and the radius of the endpoint's blah. So the circle, you remember we have H and K as the center of our circle, and it says H is 5 and K is -1. And then it says with endpoints with the radius of 3, 1, So we have to find the distance formula to find that equation for the radius. So we're going to find the distance from here to there. If you want to draw a picture, we can. We can do this little guy right here, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, which is our radius, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -1 is going to be 1. Is going to be the center of our circle. So we need to find this length right here, which is going down 1, 2 units and over 1, 2 units. So 2 squared plus 2 squared is equal to x squared, or 4 plus 4 is equal to x squared, or 8 is equal to x squared. But we don't have to do the whole square root of that. I guess you can if you'd like. So we call it square root of 8 is equal to the radius. Because the equation for a circle, if you remember, it is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, and that's equal to r squared. Well, r squared, or x squared, was 8, so we can replace that with that. And then the center of the circle is this one, so x minus 5 squared plus y plus 1, because it's a -1 and there's subtraction built into the equation. So that's going to be our equation for that one. Number 6. Number 6 says, so I got to scroll to it. If DE, and F, DE, EF, and FD are tangents of A, find EF and the perimeter of EDF. Okay, so we have a circle, and then we have this tangential triangle built around it. It says this is 9. This whole thing is 9. It says this portion is 4. This portion is 2. And this is E. So we need to find EF, and then we need to find the perimeter of the whole thing. Well, Hat theorem says that all of these things are going to be the same. So this is congruent to this, which is 4. And then we know this whole thing is 4, so this must be 5, which means this is congruent to this, which must also be 5. This is congruent to that, which is 2. So we can go all the way around and say 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 5 is 17, plus 5 is 22, plus, that's it, 22. So the whole thing is 22 feet. P is equal to 22 feet. And EF is equal to 7 feet. Actually, we don't need that line. EF is equal to 7 feet. All right. All right, number 7 says, we have a circle, and it has 2 tangents, R, Q, and P, and then X is in the middle, and this big major arc is 250. All right. We need to find what? Our tangent to X. Find PQR. So we need to find this one right here. You remember that it is, what's the ratio? 1 second, I'm going to look that up. All right, it is, this is from day 9 notes. It is, this angle is equal to 1/2. So, was that PQR, measure of angle PQR is equal to 1/2 the major arc minus the minor arc, right? 1/2 250, and we know what the minor arc is because the whole thing has to be 360. So this one has to be 110 in order for this to be 360. So 250 minus 110 is going to give us what, 140. Half of that is going to give us 70. So the measure of angle PQR is going to equal 70 degrees. All right, number 8. Number 8 is find X. Number 8 is find X, and we have 2 chords. We have portion there and 5 and 7 there. Well, we know that 7 times 5 has to be equal to 3 times X, right? So 7 times 5 must be equal to 3 times X. 7 times 5 is what, 35, and then divide that by 3, and we will get, what is that, divided by 3? I guess you can leave it as 35 over 3, or you could change it to approximately equal to 11.7. Yeah. All right. Number 9. This is a portion. Whole thing times the outside is equal to whole thing times the outside. You remember doing this stuff? So the whole thing, we have y, we have 5, we have 5, we have 8. This whole piece times the outside portion must equal the whole piece times the outside portion. So that whole piece is y plus 5. So we have y plus 5 times 5 for this right here. Y plus 5 times 5 must be equal to 8 plus 5, which is 13, times 5. 13 times 5 is going to give me 65. And then we can divide, like we could do 5 here and 5 here, or we can divide both sides by 5 as well. But we get, 5y plus 25, subtract 25. 5y is equal to 40, or y is equal to 8. I am doing that wrong. 1 second. I misread it. I wrote this as a 5. It needs to be a 6. All right. Whew. I knew I was doing the problem right. I just wrote the numbers wrong. My bad. So we get y plus 5 still. It's whole times the outside, whole times the outside. It's just our numbers change. So whole times the outside is still 5y plus 25, and whole, which is 14, times the outside, which is 6. 14 times 6 is going to be 84. Minus 25 on both sides, and we get, 59? 59. So we get 5y is equal to 59. Divide by 5 on both sides, and we get y is equal to 59 fifths, or 59 divided by 5 is 11.8. All right. Number 10. Number 10 says, find the equation of P, circle P. So you remember there's 2 different equations. One is x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. That's if it's on the origin. The other one is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared for anything off the origin. All right. So our circle happens to be at 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The center is at -5, 2, which means that our center, no, that's at -4, 2. -4, 2. So our equation will be x plus 4 squared plus y minus 2 squared. And I can see on the thing that our radius will be 3. So 3 squared is going to be 9. So we'll have that right there. All right. Number 11, change 240 degrees to radians. All right. So this one we have degrees over 360 is going to equal radians over 2 pi. And we know that it is 240 degrees. And that is going to be equal to x over 2 pi. Multiply to get 240 times 2 is going to be 480 pi. And then divide by 360. And that will give you a fraction, which is 4/3. So 4 pi over 3 will be our radians. All right. I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. This is number 11 right here. And I will continue on the next video.